Since 1963, Riverbend has been providing high-quality care for people with mental health disorders in their communities. It was the 1963 Community Mental Health Act, signed by President Kennedy, that allowed us to become part of a network of 10 community providers in the state of New Hampshire. Over the next few minutes, you're going to hear from our incredible staff about what it truly is like to work here at Riverbend. This is really hard work, there's no question about that. But it's incredibly rewarding because we at Riverbend know that treatment works. Thank you so much for considering becoming part of our team.
There's not a lot of jobs out there where you get to leave and say, you know, I really feel like I made a difference in somebody's life today, and I really feel like I helped somebody.
And like I went to someone's house the other day and he's severely depressed, and he had the curtains open for the first time ever in his living room. And like that made me, like that was the biggest reward ever.
Community Support Program is the program at Riverbend that serves severely and persistently mentally ill adults ages 18 and up. And mostly what we do is, I would say the bread and butter of what we do is serve people in the community as opposed to in the office. We do have services here that are office-based, but mostly what we do is support people in their own apartment or their own residence or in the community.
I can just hang out with them, you know, in their living room and kind of chat and like explore what they could maybe do in a little bit or in the future, like over a cup of coffee. I really like that because then it's like, it's so much more natural.
We're really on the front lines of mental health in a lot of ways, and I think that they try really hard to be adaptive and, you know, take any new information that they have and try to implement it into their treatment. And I think that's something that Riverbend does really, really well.
It's definitely not a desk job, which I love. I'm out in the community easily 85% of the time.
It's not for the squeamish, I'll put it that way. If you are bothered by smells or messiness or smokiness or any of those things, community mental health might not be for you.
I've walked into a lot of different situations where you can't even find a space to sit, or you don't even want to sit because the house is so dirty.
These are difficult situations. They're clients that have a lot of struggle in their lives. Many times don't have families, don't have a lot of natural supports, don't have a lot of resources, face uphill battles every day. And there are times when it can be scary. You can worry for our clients' well-being.
If you're in a bullpen area such as this one, if you're not sure what you want to do in a certain instance, or you need a little bit of guidance or help, or you're not sure about something, a lot of folks will just spin around in their chair and they'll just say, hey, you know, I'm running into some issues with this, or how do I do that, or do you know anything about this? And usually if it's a full bullpen area, somebody knows, somebody's experienced it in the past, and they just sort of turn around and say, yeah, this is my experience with that, and this is what worked for me.
I should have come over here when I was on the phone for 20 minutes.
You definitely need to be organized in this job, making sure that, I know when I had 40 clients versus my 16, just making sure that you are following through with all their requests. If in a meeting you say that you're going to fill out some paperwork or mail something, then the next time you don't go to an appointment and you haven't done that, that definitely shows a disconnect.
There's a lot of paperwork demands, a lot of requirements from the state of New Hampshire, who sort of govern what we do. So you have to be able to keep up with deadlines, with due dates, and that kind of a thing. So you need to be organized. I would say one of the more important things is your ability to work on a team. I think that's the strength of the program, actually, is that we work as a team. You need to have good communication skills. My preference certainly is for someone to err on the side of over-communication rather than under. You have to be humble because you need to be willing to know that you don't know everything, and willing to ask questions, to turn your chair around and ask your neighbor. And once you get your feet under you, you better be willing to help someone else out, because that's how we get along here, is we support each other. Everybody does.
So what happened was, when we reviewed the minutes, his mom said that she was told by Ann or yourself.
We've had a client that was so impaired because of their psychotic illness that really struggled to understand what was real and what wasn't real. And the person was terrified by their own symptoms, hearing voices in their head telling them that they should die. And so this person went for help and called the case manager, and the case manager was able to move their schedule around, drive out to the person's apartment, meet with that person, help normalize things that, of course, this is scary, but at the same time, this is an illness that is treatable.
And I think the minute you walk into a situation like that and you are able to help and able to improve that, I think that's when you really get hooked into the idea of case management, because you recognize that, yeah, we're making a difference here and we're going to help this person improve their lives.